You see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold
Worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That's smooth under the rug.
Why?
There are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed?
It all started with that moment, the one the whole world thought they understood. The 2011 MTV Video Music Awards, Beyoncé glowing like royalty, strutting on stage, unbuttoning that glittering sequin jacket, then cradling her belly and announcing there was love growing inside. The crowd lost its mind. Cameras cut to Jay-Z grinning like a proud king in the audience. The applause was deafening, and headlines exploded overnight. But behind all the flashing lights, not everybody bought the fairy tale. Weeks later, a strange piece of footage popped up from an Australian talk show, the infamous folding clip. As Beyoncé sat down, her baby bump seemed to collapse, not a little wrinkle. We're talking a full-on fold that looked wrong. Was it just a weird camera angle? A wardrobe slip? Or, as whispered in quiet corners of the internet, the very first crack in a carefully staged illusion? That clip never really died. It's been floating in the digital shadows for over a decade, waiting for the right spark to blow it wide open. And now, that spark has a name, Rhymir Satithweight, a man nobody outside certain circles even knew until recently, when he stepped forward with bombshell claims that sent shockwaves through the Bayhive. According to him, he's Jay-Z's secret son. And the wildest part, he hinted that Blue Ivy might not even be Beyoncé's biological daughter. For hardcore conspiracy watchers, this wasn't random drama. It slid perfectly into long-running whispers about surrogacy, hidden heirs, and the ruthless image control of music's most untouchable power couple. Rhymir wasn't just airing family laundry. He was hinting at a decades-deep cover-up stretching all the way back to that iconic VMA night. You gotta wonder why now? Rhymir's bombshell drops right when the Carters are already juggling a storm of heat, from messy court filings to high-profile beef with some of the biggest names in the game. The timing feels too perfect, like a calculated move in some behind-the-scenes chess match the public was never supposed to watch. So is this just a personal grudge dressed up as truth? Or are we watching the first crack that could blow open a vault of secrets the couple's been guarding for over a decade? And just when you think it can't get messier, an alleged former nanny steps out of the shadows with her own claims. She says she cared for Blue Ivy as a baby, and not once did she see Beyoncé pregnant. According to her, that glowing mama-to-be image we all saw was just for the cameras. And behind the scenes, another woman carried the child. Sure, people have whispered this before, but it's rare for someone who says they were inside the Carter household to speak this bluntly. And if even a piece of her story holds weight, it doesn't just ruffle feathers. It threatens the whole picture-perfect family brand Beyoncé has built. From the tightly edited family glimpses to the ironclad privacy she's enforced for years. Beyoncé doesn't just live in the spotlight, she controls it. Every album drop, every single photograph, every carefully chosen glimpse of her kids the public is allowed to see, all staged with military precision. She's built a brand where even the real moments feel like they've been rehearsed. That's why these whispers hit like a thunderclap. If the foundation of her motherhood story gets shaken, the ripple could be massive. We're talking career-defining seismic. For millions of fans who see her as the ultimate symbol of truth, strength, and empowerment, the idea that there's a whole other version of events hiding in plain sight isn't just unsettling, it's irresistible. Then comes Rhymir Satithweight, muddying the waters even more. He paints himself as an insider who's been wrong. The type of person with just enough personal pain to start dropping late-night bombshells in conversations behind closed doors. His hints about hidden children and swap parentage are being picked apart line by line on fan forums, dissected on conspiracy podcasts, and argued over in comment sections across the internet. Some say he's just clout chasing. Others swear he's the only one brave enough to go after the most untouchable couple in music. Either way, his words have taken a dusty old rumor and dressed it in fresh designer clothes, giving it a bigger stage and a much louder mic. And here's where the emotional gut punch lands. this isn't just any celebrity kid we're talking about. Blue Ivy has been front and center since day one. From Grammy-winning tracks to blockbuster movie credits to commanding stadium stages like she was born for it, she's been the jewel in the Carter crown, the living proof of their family legacy. If this new version of events ever got proven, it wouldn't just tweak a few paragraphs, it would set fire to the whole Carter fairy tale and rewrite history from scratch. And yet, from the outside, Beyoncé's motherhood looks as flawless as her stage presence. Even her mom, Tina Knowles, gushes about Blue's self-taught piano skills, poetry, and art, painting the picture of a gifted child raised in a fortress of love and creativity. Jay-Z loves to talk about putting his kids first. Those little personal stories sprinkled into interviews and documentaries, just enough to make him look like the family man, but never enough to really pull back the curtain. Now, with Rymir's claims and the nanny's allegations in the air, those same proud dad moments hit different, almost like carefully placed props in a museum, meant to keep you looking at the pretty displays while blocking the doors you're not allowed to open. And every time that infamous folding bump clip resurfaces, it slides right back into the puzzle. Back in 2011, maybe people brushed it off as bad fabric or a weird angle. But in 2025, after years of whispers, lawsuits, and side-eye, that same clip feels less like harmless spectacle and more like a smoking gun that's been sitting in plain sight. The real question now isn't whether these rumors will die. They won't. It's how much fuel they'll pick up as other chaos swirls around the Carters. Kanye's public meltdowns and sharp jabs at Jay and Bey, gasoline, lawsuits circling former allies from Jay-Z's inner circle, gasoline, even the wilder stuff, talk of controlled celebrities and alleged Hollywood sacrifices, is starting to creep into the same conversation. And that's the danger. In an era where any claim can find an audience, Rymir's story doesn't have to be proven right away to stick. True or not, he's dropping it at a time when the Carters' walls aren't looking as bulletproof as they used to, and people are lining up to see if they'll crack. Their longtime allies, distracted and busy fighting their own wars, the media, hungrier than ever for celebrity unmaskings. And as much as Beyoncé has built her empire on mystery, the days of true privacy for public figures are long gone. Now, it only takes one leaked text, one ex-staffer ready to spill, or one sloppy public response to turn a whisper into a full-blown roar. Think of the Carters' public image like a Broadway masterpiece. Lights, costumes, flawless scenes. And right there on center stage, Blue Ivy isn't just a co-star, she's the symbol of their love, their unity, their legacy. But yank that thread, and the whole set risks crashing down in front of the audience. That's why Rymir's claims, paired with the nanny's blunt testimony, are pure dynamite. They're not just poking at a small detail, they're challenging the authenticity of an entire act. And in the court of public opinion, it's not about proof, it's about perception. Sure, Beyoncé and Jay-Z have survived storms before, infidelity rumors, business feuds, even that elevator video. But those scandals, no matter how loud, didn't stab at the heart of their family identity. This one does, and because it's so personal, so deep, it's the kind of hit that can't be silenced with a press release or even a surprise midnight album drop. What makes this even more dangerous for the Carters is the climate we're in right now, a world where fans have turned into full-blown detectives. People are digging through old interviews, freeze-framing 2011 red carpet clips, dissecting every smile, every hand placement, every slip in body language. They're lining up timelines like crime scene boards and comparing photos like it's an FBI case file. Every public appearance from that pregnancy era is back under the microscope. And in today's internet age, where digital sleuths have exposed politicians, toppled CEOs, and cracked scandals worth millions, that's a dangerous place for any celebrity to be. The Carters' silence so far, totally in line with their never explain, never complain playbook. But that strategy cuts both ways. Silence can look like grace, or it can look like you're dodging the truth. And with more voices piling in, from supposed insiders to industry rival with long-held grudges, the risk of losing control of the story gets bigger every day. Now, every fresh sighting of Blue Ivy, whether she's at a film premiere, rocking a tour stage, or just caught by paparazzi on a casual day out, gets dissected like evidence. Fans see a thriving, talented young woman with parents who adore her. Skeptics search for the smallest crack, convinced there's more to the story, and each camp swears the other is blind. But the truth, whatever it is still locked behind those fortress walls the Carters have built. Only now, that old viral folding bump clip, Rymir's bold accusations, and the nanny's pointed testimony have fused into one perfect storm, leaving the world with a question that once asked can never be unheard. If the picture we've been fed for over a decade isn't the full truth, what else has been hiding in plain sight? Just when it feels like we've traced the edges of this storm, another rumor slips out of the shadows, the so-called missing twins theory. And this one's chilling. Whispers from deep inside certain industry circles claim Jay-Z may have fathered another set of twins years before he ever married Beyoncé. Not a tabloid mix-up, not a case of mistaken identity, but children allegedly kept completely off the grid. No red carpets, no paparazzi shots, not even a passing mention in the public eye. The claim runs deeper. Their very existence supposedly tied up in airtight NDAs, sealed financial agreements, and a level of enforced silence that only serious money and serious influence can buy. If even a fraction of this is real, it could explain why the Carter household operates with near military privacy, and why every glimpse we get of their known kids feels so meticulously staged. And the fuel for this theory isn't just gossip blogs, it's coming from Jay-Z's own music. Hardcore fans have gone back through his catalog, pulling out lines that now sound like quiet confessions, cryptic mentions of two shadows, and families I can't name. Maybe they're metaphors, or maybe they're breadcrumbs. Adding to the intrigue, some producers who move in the Rock Nation orbit have allegedly hinted, always off the record, about a story too dangerous to tell outright. And that kind of don't ask energy only makes people dig harder. In an industry where loyalty is gold, and NDAs are the locks on every vault, only the tiniest cracks ever let anything slip. And when they do, it's usually in the form of cryptic lines. Just enough to make people wonder, are we listening to pure artistry, or a man dropping coded breadcrumbs for those sharp enough to catch them? The Carter family's public image has been flawless for years, almost too flawless. Every appearance, every interview anecdote paints the same picture. 3 kids, one unbreakable unit, a perfect balance of jet-set glamour and normal family life in the middle of superstardom. But if you look close enough, the seams start to show. Why are some family moments broadcast in glossy, high-definition glory, while others, especially anything involving the younger twins, Rumi and Sir, stay locked behind an iron curtain? Is that just parental caution in the age of paparazzi? Or something more strategic? A way to control exactly what the world knows and when? And then there's Tina Knowles, the ever-stylish grandmother with her warm smile and measured words. On the surface, her interviews seem loving and effortless, but through the lens of deeper family secrecy, they start to feel different. She gushes over her grandkids' talents, sure, but she's precise, careful, steering clear of certain dates, skipping over certain early life details. So is that just the media training of a seasoned matriarch, or the discipline of someone who knows that even one stray sentence could set off the wrong kind of chain reaction? Beyoncé's mother, Tina, has always been more than just family. She's been the steady hand shaping both her daughter's career and personal narrative. A trusted spokesperson who can light up a room for the press while keeping the real vault sealed tight. Her influence, undeniable. She's managed her own public image with a perfect mix of warmth and authority. The kind that makes her relatable enough to love, but powerful enough that you don't cross her. People in the industry quietly call her the Carter's quiet strategist, the one who can make a phone call and erase a story before it even hits print. If there's any truth to those old surrogacy whispers, Tina would have been the perfect gatekeeper to lock them down. She's got the credibility, the network, and the ultimate motivation, protecting her daughter from a public feeding frenzy. We've seen this type of matriarch in other entertainment dynasties, the Kris Jenners, the Dina Lohans, but Tina's style is different. No messy oversharing, no slip-ups, just a masterclass in selective storytelling. By controlling what gets out and what stays buried, she shapes exactly how the public sees the Carters, while making sure certain truths never leave the inner circle. And that's where the real question hits. If there were other children, secret arrangements, or hidden chapters that didn't fit the brand, could Tina be the one holding the only master key? The psychological twist here is impossible to ignore. In one light, Tina is simply a grandmother, fiercely defending her family's right to privacy. In another, she's the architect of a long-term narrative built to lock away truths the public will never see. Both readings are believable. Both serve the same mission, protect the empire. But one comes with that quiet, electric thrill of knowing what we're shown might just be the tip of a massive, complicated iceberg. When you line up all the threads, the timeline gets heavier. The folding bump clip that refuses to die. Rhymir Satithweight suddenly reappearing with his secret bloodline claims. The carefully curated appearances of the Carter kids we do know about. And now, the shadowy missing twins theory. Seen together, it stops looking like coincidence and starts feeling like choreography. Choreography where every step, every camera angle, every public smile is meant to keep our eyes locked on one stage, while something entirely different plays out just out of sight. The stakes couldn't be bigger. The Carter brand isn't just music, it's billion-dollar tours, fashion empires, blockbuster films, philanthropy, and the crown jewel of their image. The symbol of Black excellence, entrepreneurial genius, and enduring romance. To crack that with a scandal involving hidden children or a surrogacy cover-up, that wouldn't just cause gossip, it would shake a cornerstone of modern pop culture itself. And if even a drop of these theories were true, you better believe they'd be guarded like state secrets, with layers of protection the public will never pierce. The industry's not the same anymore. Gone are the days when a publicist could kill a rumor with one clean statement. Now, social media detectives are out here breaking down facial expressions frame by frame, digging up decade-old interviews, tracking travel schedules through paparazzi pics, then cross-referencing it all with song lyrics and accidentally leaked emails. One credible leak from a former insider, one anonymous post with the right photo or document, and a narrative that's been airtight for years can unravel in a single afternoon. That's the pressure point where these rumors thrive, right in the gap between the Carter's image of absolute perfection and a reality that might be a whole lot messier. If the missing twins theory is nothing but myth, it's still one that refuses to die, feeding off the mystery they've created. If it's more than myth, then it could explain the tight grip they've kept on every detail of their family life for over a decade. Either way, it keeps people watching and waiting for something to crack, and that's the real hook. If they guard their personal lives this fiercely, what else might be locked behind those walls? Could the truth about Blue Ivy's parentage, whispers of hidden children, and talk of long-buried arrangements ever spill out into the open? Or will the empire stand no matter how hard the outside world pushes? We'll be watching, and we know you will too. So tell us, if even one part of this turns out to be real, does it change the way you see them forever? In the end, whether these whispers are smoke with no fire or the early sparks of something explosive, one thing's for sure, the Carters have mastered the art of controlling the story. But this time, the cracks feel different. We're talking decade-old footage resurfacing, bold accusers stepping out of the shadows, and theories that dig right at the foundation of their family image. If any of it is true, the fallout wouldn't just be tabloid fodder, it would be a cultural earthquake. We're talking the kind of scandal that rewrites legacies, shatters carefully built brands, and forces the world to question everything it thought it knew about music's most guarded power couple. And maybe that's why the silence is so loud right now. Maybe the real game isn't happening on Instagram or in gossip columns. Maybe it's unfolding behind locked doors where only a handful of people know the full truth. But here's the thing. Secrets have a shelf life. And when they expire, they don't just leak, they explode. So we'll keep watching every move, every photo, every interview, because sooner or later, the truth has a way of finding daylight. And when it does, you know BarzBuzz will be right here breaking it all down piece by piece. So hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over, and you won't want to miss what comes next.